the first islands that we went to was Solomon's, and then we went from island to island wherever they sent us.
Right, right.
And we had that ship I was on had 25 men and 4 officers on it, and I was the only radio operator on it. And my job on that thing sometimes would we'd be out to sea. I'd be on that radio 24 hours a day.
Oh my goodness.
7 days a week, and I had to lay my head on a typewriter because I just had to be on the radio the first 15 minutes of every hour.
And then over the radio, that's when they would tell you where they needed you to go, right?
Right.
So you were in charge.
No, I had a commanding officer, and he was a wonderful man.
Yeah.
My skipper was a millionaire out of Chicago.
Really?
His name was Robert Walker, and he was in the seafood business. And anytime you buy any seafood business in this area or any place around, he gets a commission off of it.
Really?
And
my goodness.
well, he navigated that ship by celestial navigation. We didn't have no radar,
Right.
on an identification radar. And how he navigated that thing all over that Pacific Ocean like he did, I just can't tell you.
Wow.
He was good. Oh, he was good. There was times when the ocean was so rough and a storm, and he managed to, on dead reckoning, to take that ship right where it's supposed to go. And then when we came back after the war, when we were in the China Sea when they dropped the atomic bomb, and he says this ocean's getting awful rough out here. They can't figure it out because he says the weather's not that bad. Then we found out why. So then they sent us back to Pearl Harbor. On the way back to Pearl Harbor, we run into a typhoon that hit Okinawa. And the guy in Okinawa told my skipper, beach your ship, because that's we couldn't do that. He said, no, I ain't gonna do that. He said, I'm gonna go out to sea and fight it. And he took that ship and turned it into the wave coming, and he dropped what they call a sea anchor. It's nothing but a big canvas bag with a hole in the middle with cables that comes back to hook onto the ship, and then you back down against it, and that held you there. And boy, I'll tell you, sometimes when that wave went over, I thought it was a submarine. They went over us, and then got on the other side of that daggone thing. It was just as smooth as this. And then we turned around and went back into Okinawa, and the guy there that was in charge there told us that you might as well go to Pearl Harbor because this can't do us any good here. So that's where we went.
So what year was it when you first? What year was it when you first joined?
When I first joined,
right
I was in 1943.
1943. So a couple years after the attack on Pearl Harbor. What was it like when you were there the first time?
First time I was in Pearl Harbor, well, it was all of the ships were still smoking. They were still smoking. They were all sunk, but they were all still some smoking going on. But the small ship that we were on, they just sent us wherever they want us to go. We hauled mail, we hauled all kinds of stuff to the different troops, and we went from island to island to island. We went into the Philippines. Matter of fact, we took a man down Placid River in the Philippines, and they put a guy on there that was supposed to be know the depth and everything. And he told us, he said, turn on your radar. The old man said, what radar? We don't get no radar. He called his boat back there to come and get him. He got on that thing, and he left us out there in that thing. So that my skipper, being the kind of a guy he was, he knew how to get around to what it was. It's a great big rock out there that was about the size of a mountain almost. And he come up there that saw it, and he dropped anchor there. And then the next day, he took sounding lines. I went around that thing, got on the other side, and took that. The guy was a reporter, and we took him down to a Marine base there in Guam. And I think I know who he was, but I can't say for positive. But he was shot after that. That news reporter was killed. But after that, we went, left there, and then we went over to Guam. Went over to Guam, and when we went, first time we went to Guam, we went in. That was about 2 days before the cruiser Indianapolis was sunk, and we were in Apra Harbor there at Guam, and we left there, and we started going to other islands, and then that's when they dropped the bomb. That's what we was doing in the China Sea. But I'll tell you what got me was our ship was a metal ship, and them Japanese had cut loose a whole bunch of magnetic mines, and we had to go through that thing. And my skipper got us through there, but they had minesweepers out there finding them and sinking them, and then they told us that if you see one, fire at it, but if you miss it, get out of there. No, they don't.
Magnetic.
It's magnetic. It'll come right to you.
Wow.
But we managed to get back all right. And then I'll tell you what happened to me after I got back from Pearl Harbor. My commanding officer and all the officers on the ship, they were married people, you know.
You mean
And
when
they
the war was
they
over?
sent them all home. And I was on the board, they put another skipper on that thing. He didn't know nothing from nothing. And he took off with that thing. I don't know where he was going or anything. And we got lost. Our engines went out on us. And it was getting cold, and we hadn't no foul weather gear because we was in the Pacific. And we found out that a cruiser came out from somewhere and challenged us and said, "Who are you?" We told him. He said, "Well, they're looking for you up around Pearl Harbor. Got a big old tug hunting you named Jickarilla, and we'll tell you where you're at, and we'll come alongside and take you in tow." So they come alongside, got us in tow, and towed us until the Jickarilla came and got us. And while we was on that other ship, the guys came in the radio room and said, "Ray said, can you get in touch with that ship was towing us?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, will you call them and ask them if they'll send us back a barrel of water? We have no water on board this ship." I said, "I can't do that without the skipper's permission." And he was standing in the doorway. I didn't see him. He said, "Man, you're not going to do it either." And then he left. About an hour later, a bunch of guys came back and said, "Would you please get a hold of them? We need water." And I said, "You bet." And I punched that button, and that guy, their radio operator, come on. I said, "Can I talk to your commanding officer?" He said, "Yes." He got on there. And I told him, I said, "The fellas are in here, they need water. Can you send us back a barrel of water? We don't have no water on board the ship." He said, "You bet we can." And I don't know, I wasn't up there, so I don't know what happened. But they passed it back, and somehow it got loose. Somehow it got loose. And about that time, the radio came on. I said, "Let me talk to your commanding officer." And so I went and I told him to go get him. He come up there. That officer said, "Hey, I saw what you did. Now we're going to pass you another barrel back there. And I'll tell you something. I want you up in front of your con up there where I can watch you." that new skipper told me, hey, I'm the commander of this ship. And he says, I'll do what I say. That guy says, you don't know your Navy regs, do you? He said, what do you mean? He said, it'll tell you in Navy regs, if you're being towed by another ship, the one that's doing the towing, he has control over both vehicles. Now, I want you up on that bridge where I can watch you, and we're going to send it back, which they did. And then when they got, as a matter of fact, my skipper came up to me and he told me, we get to Pearl Harbor, you're going on Captain's mast. And I said, I didn't care. And so I went back, and so we got into Pearl Harbor with the tug pushed us up in there. And there was 2 shore patrol vehicles sitting there on the dock. They pushed us up there. They pushed us up again the dock. And they said, send your skipper out here. What happened to him, I don't know. But they took him somewhere. And then they come and said, you have a radio operator on there by the name of Crutmore? He said, yes, we do. Bring him out here. They brought me out there, and that guy come up. I went up there to him, saluted him.
Anybody else? This is for the.
And he said, hey, he said, see that big old black ship clear down at the end of the dock? I said, yes, sir. He says, you got 1/2 hour to get your gear together off of this ship.
Get you some change.
You're going on board that ship.
Put your name on on those.
And I went back there, I got on there, and they took me to that ship. And to this day, I got on that ship, and they took off. They couldn't, they'd been sitting there at that dock for 2 months because they didn't have a radio operator. Because you can't go to sea without one. And so we got out there, and this guy came into the radio room and he said, I'm your communications officer.
Change. Anybody else?
And I said, okay. He didn't give me his name, nothing. And said, the admiral will be down to talk to you and I'll let you know what's going on. And I said, you got an admiral on board this ship? He said, yes, we do. But he'll tell you all about it. So a little while later, I was standing out on the deck, and a little bit, the admiral came in, and he tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around, looked, and I saw it. He was in the admiral, and he never told me what his name was. Never did. And he says, "You know where we're going?" I said, "No, I don't have no idea." He said, "We're going to San Francisco." I said, "We're going to the States?" He said, "Yes, that's where we're going." And he said, "When we get there, your job now is if any messages comes for this ship, you take them and you get them and you give them to me," which I did. I had 2 of them. And anyway, he said, "You're probably wondering what an admiral is doing on board a ship like this." And I said, "Yeah, well, all admirals I ever knew was on battleships and aircraft carriers and stuff like that." He said, "Yeah," but he says, "The cargo that's on this ship is the reason I'm here." And I said, "What, a cargo? What kind of a cargo they got on this ship?" He says, "Gold." Ooh. And they had that ship loaded with gold. That gold belonged to the Filipino people. And what happened was, when the Japs took over the island from General MacArthur, they threw their gold in the ocean. And then when he took it back, took it back out and put it on that ship.
Linda?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
And we took that thing down to they took it to Pearl Harbor and they lost a radio operator there for some reason. But anyway, we got in there and when we got to San Francisco, they had armored cars lined up. And the admiral told me, he said, "Now, after we get this offloaded," said, "no one is going to go ashore, not even me, but you're going to." I said, "I am." He said, "Yeah." Said, "You're going." Says, when we get docked and get rid of this cargo, you're going home." And at that time, I didn't have a home. And I told him, I said, Admiral, I don't have a home. He said, well, I know where you're going. You're going to Great Lakes. That's where you're going. And then that's up to you from there on. So they put me on a train and sent me to Great Lakes.
My goodness.
But and to this day, I don't know that admiral's name. I don't know the ship number, because they painted over, and they painted black for a reason, so it couldn't be identified.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And I had a friend.